Hello, and welcome to this English learning story. Today, I will show you a simple and powerful way to improve your English. It is called shadowing. What is shadowing? It means you listen to English and repeat the words immediately. You copy the voice, the speed, and the feelings. You become like a shadow. This method helps you speak clearly, understand better, and feel confident. Today, I will tell you a story. The story is about a girl named Emma. She goes to another country to study. She faces many problems but also grows stronger. Listen carefully, then practice shadowing. My name is Emma. I am 19 years old. I live in a small town with my parents and grandmother. The town is quiet, with narrow streets and small houses. But I always dreamed of going abroad. I wanted to see the world. I wanted to speak English with real people. One day, I opened my email. I saw a message. Congratulations! You are accepted to the Global Exchange Program. My heart jumped. I read the words again and again. It was true. I was going abroad. I ran to my parents.
Mom, Dad.
I can study in another country. My mom looked surprised, then smiled. This is amazing. But are you ready? She asked. Yes, I am ready, I said. The next weeks were very busy. I packed clothes, books, and a diary. My grandmother gave me a red scarf. She said, "Keep this. It will bring you luck." Finally, the day came. At the airport, my father said, "Be brave. Don't fear mistakes." I hugged my family tightly. My eyes were full of tears. I promised to call every week. Then I walked to the airplane. My heart was heavy, but also excited. On the plane, a woman asked, "Where are you going?" Nervously, I said, "I am going to Canada. Study program." She smiled. "That's wonderful. Good luck." It was my first English conversation abroad. It gave me courage. The plane took off. My town became smaller and smaller below. I whispered, "This is the start of my new life." The airplane landed after a long and tiring flight. I was excited, but also very nervous. The airport was huge, full of bright lights and many people. Everyone was walking fast. Some spoke English, some spoke French, and some spoke other languages I did not know. I pulled my suitcase and looked for the immigration desk. At the desk, the officer asked me questions. "What is the purpose of your visit?" he said seriously. My hands were shaking a little, but I answered slowly. "I am a student. I come to study English." He looked at my papers, then finally stamped my passport. "Welcome," he said. I felt so relieved. I followed the signs to the bus terminal. It was not easy. The arrows pointed left and right, and I was afraid of getting lost. But finally, I found the bus to my university. I gave the driver my ticket and sat near the window. The city was new and exciting. I saw tall buildings, wide streets, and people carrying coffee cups. Everything moved so fast. As the bus moved, I felt tired. My eyes started to close. For a short time, I fell asleep. When I woke up, the bus was near the campus. I saw a big sign. Welcome to Green Valley University. My heart beat faster. This was my new school, my new world. When the bus stopped, I pulled my suitcase again. Students around me were laughing and talking. Some looked nervous, just like me. Suddenly, I heard a voice. "Hi, are you new here too?" A girl with short brown hair smiled at me. "Yes," I said.
I'm Emma.
"Nice to meet you." "Nice to meet you, Emma. I'm Sophia. I come from Spain," she answered. We both laughed. On my very first day, I already had a friend. The residence hall was large and full of noise. Students were carrying suitcases, talking in different languages, and searching for their rooms. I walked with Sophia, and soon we found the front desk. A woman gave us our keys. Mine was room 214, and Sophia's was room 216. We laughed because we were neighbors. I pulled my suitcase upstairs and opened my door. The room was small but bright. There were 2 beds, 2 desks, and 2 closets. One side already had books and a blanket, so I knew my roommate had arrived. I put my suitcase on the empty bed and looked around. A few minutes later, the door opened. A girl with long black hair and glasses walked in. She looked surprised, then smiled. "Hi, you must be Emma. I'm Lily, your roommate." "Nice to meet you," I said shyly. She pointed at her side of the room. "This is mine. That side is yours." I nodded and smiled. "Thank you." That evening, Lily invited me to the common kitchen. "Come with me. Other students are cooking dinner together," she said. I followed her. The kitchen was big, with many tables and chairs. The smell of food was everywhere. Students from many countries were there. They were cooking, talking, and laughing. Some spoke quickly, some slowly. Their accents were different, but everyone used English. I felt nervous. My English was not perfect. What if I made mistakes? A tall boy held out a plate of pasta. "Do you want some?" he asked kindly. "Yes, please," I said softly. He smiled and gave me food. "Enjoy." I relaxed a little. Maybe speaking English was not so scary after all. Sophia waved from another table. "Emma, come sit with us," she called. I joined her and met students from India, France, and Brazil. We talked about food, music, and our countries. I learned new words. I laughed. For the first time, I felt part of the group. That night, back in the dorm, Lily asked, "How was your first dinner?" "Good," I said. "I feel happy. I can speak a little." She smiled. "Don't worry. You'll get better. Shadowing will help." My eyes opened wide. "You know shadowing?" "Yes," she said. "I used it last year. It made me confident." I felt so lucky. Not only did I have a kind roommate, but she also knew the same learning method as me. That night, I wrote in my diary, "Day 1 in the dorm. I spoke English. People understood me. I am not alone." The next morning, I woke up early. I put on a clean shirt, tied my hair back, and packed my notebook. It was my first day of class at the university. My heart was full of hope, but also fear. I wanted to learn, but I was not sure if my English was strong enough. The classroom was big, with rows of desks and many students. Some students looked confident, writing notes before the class even started. Others, like me, looked a little nervous. I sat near the middle, opened my notebook, and waited for the professor. The professor entered quickly. He was tall and wore glasses. He began to speak fast, too fast for me. He explained the course, the assignments, and the books we needed. I tried to listen, but many words were new. My pen moved slowly. Around me, other students nodded their heads and wrote quickly. They seemed to understand everything. My face grew hot. I felt small and weak. A voice inside me whispered, "Maybe you're not good enough. Maybe you should go home." But I stayed. I kept listening, even if I missed many words. I wrote down what I could. I promised myself, I will not give up. I will find a way to learn. That evening, back in the dorm, I looked sad. Lily noticed right away. "How was your first class?" she asked. I shook my head. "Too fast. Too hard. I don't understand." She sat down beside me. "Don't worry. I had the same problem last year. But shadowing helped me. Do you want to try?" I nodded. She opened her laptop and played a recording from class. The professor's voice filled the room. Lily paused the video after one sentence. "Repeat it," she said. I copied the words, slowly at first. My tongue felt heavy. My voice was not smooth. But I tried again and again. With each try, my voice grew stronger. Lily smiled. "See? You can do it." If you practice shadowing every day, your ears will understand more and your mouth will move faster. That night, I practiced for an hour. When I went to bed, I was tired, but also hopeful. Maybe shadowing could really help me survive in this new world. Over the next few weeks, life at the university slowly became easier. I joined study groups, ate dinner with Sophia, and often practiced shadowing with Lily. My English was still not perfect, but I could follow more conversations and join in sometimes. Every small success made me smile. One Saturday, Sophia invited me to have lunch with her friends. We went to a cafe near the campus. The place was full of students. The smell of coffee and bread filled the air. Everyone was talking and laughing. I felt happy to be there. At the table, one boy told a joke. Everyone laughed loudly. I wanted to laugh too, but I didn't fully understand. Still, I smiled. Then another girl asked me, "Do you like this kind of humor?" I wanted to say, "Yes, it is funny, but I don't always understand." But I made a mistake. I said, "Yes, it is silly." I thought silly was positive, but in English it often sounds negative. The table went quiet for a moment. The boy who told the joke looked surprised. My face turned red. I quickly said, Sorry, I mean funny, not silly." Everyone laughed again, but this time kindly. Sophia touched my arm. "Don't worry, Emma. We know what you mean." The boy smiled and said, "No problem. Sometimes silly is funny too." Later, when we walked back to the dorm, I felt embarrassed. "I always make mistakes," I told Sophia. She shook her head. "No, you're brave.
You speak.
That is what matters. And you learn from mistakes." That night, I practiced shadowing again. I repeated sentences with the word funny. I told myself, next time I will say it right. During the winter break, Sophia suggested a short trip. "Let's visit Maple City," she said. "It's not far. We can take the train." I was excited. It would be my first time traveling in this country. Lily also joined us, and the three of us planned the trip together. The morning of the trip was cold and snowy. We wore thick coats and carried small bags. At the train station, the floor was wet and people hurried in every direction. We found our platform and waited together, talking and laughing. I felt happy to have friends with me. On the train, we sat by the window. Snow covered the ground outside. Trees looked like white ghosts. We shared snacks and stories. Sophia taught me a Spanish song, and Lily told us about her family in Toronto. Time passed quickly. When we arrived at Maple City, we walked through the busy streets. Shops sold warm drinks, bright scarves,
And sweet cakes.
We took photos and laughed. Everything was perfect until I touched my pocket. My wallet was gone. My heart dropped. Inside the wallet were my student card, my ID, and all my money for the trip. Oh no, I cried. My wallet, it's gone. Sophia and Lily looked worried. Where did you last see it? Lily asked. I don't know. Maybe the train. Maybe the street. I said, my voice shaking. We went to the nearest shop and asked for help. Excuse me, I said quickly. I lost my wallet. What can I do? The shopkeeper pointed us to the police station nearby. At the police station, an officer listened carefully. I used short, simple sentences. I am a student. I lost my wallet. It is black. It has my ID inside. My hands were shaking, but the officer understood. He wrote down my information. We waited for almost an hour. Then the officer returned with a smile. Good news, he said. Someone found your wallet on the train and gave it to the staff. Everything is still inside. I almost cried with relief. Thank you. Thank you so much, I said again and again. My friends hugged me. The rest of the trip was simple, but I felt grateful. I had lost my wallet, but I found something bigger. Trust in people and trust in myself. The months passed quickly. Winter turned into spring, and the campus became full of flowers. Every day I practiced shadowing. I listened to podcasts, repeated YouTube videos, and even shadowed movie dialogues. My mouth was faster, my ears were sharper, and my confidence grew. One day, my professor asked me to give a short presentation. At first, I wanted to say no. My hands started to sweat, and I felt my heart race. But then I remembered Lily's words. You can do it. Just shadow your own thoughts. I prepared carefully. I wrote notes about food from my country. Then I practiced shadowing myself. I spoke my sentences again and again, listening to my own recording, repeating until the words felt natural. When the day came, I stood in front of the class. My voice was not perfect, but it was clear. I spoke slowly, using short sentences. The students listened. At the end, they clapped. My professor smiled. At that moment, I felt proud. I remembered my first day, when I understood almost nothing.
Now,
I could speak, and people understood me. Shadowing had carried me from fear to courage. Shadowing is simple, but powerful. You listen, you repeat, you copy the speed, the sound, and the feeling. At first, it is hard. Your mouth feels slow, and your ears feel heavy. But day by day, you improve. Do not wait for perfect English. Do not wait for the right moment.
start now.
Shadow a video. Shadow a story. Shadow this text. Even 10 minutes a day can change your English.
Be brave.
Be consistent. With shadowing, you can speak more clearly, Listen more deeply and feel more confident. Like Emma, you can grow and you can find your voice. Thank you for practicing with me. Now it is your turn. Play this story again, pause after each paragraph, and repeat. Copy the voice, copy the rhythm, and speak with courage.
See you next time.